Alright, in this video we're going to be doing three little sections, 2.6, 2.7, and 2.8, which is ratios, rates, and conversions. It's a really kind of a small section, so we threw them all together. Ratios compare two numbers by division. These are also fractions. Okay? For example, you may have 5 divided by 2, which is read 5 to 2, or 5 colon 2. That's a ratio. Most of the time we'll be comparing two fractions like 2 this, that equal to something tenths. Okay, we'll be doing that. And then a rate is a ratio that compares different units of measure. For example, you have miles per hour, or inches per meter, something like that. That's a ratio that you're going to compare two different units of measure. Conversion factor is when you have those two unequal measures, then you're trying to find a common conversion to change one to another. For example, if you want to know how many inches are in 1 foot, there are 12 inches in 1 foot, you use that ratio to convert other things, and we'll be looking at different conversions. There's a conversion table on page 801 of your textbook. You can look at that too. So the first thing, which is greater, 74 inches or 6 feet? Now, using conversions, we know there are 12 inches is in 1 foot. Okay? Alright, so what you want to do when you set these up, you want to use the information that you have. I'm going to use 74 inches, and that's going to be over top of 1. Okay? You can put any number over top of 1. And then you're going to use this little window system. Okay? But the main thing you have to remember is you have to have the same units diagonal from each other so that they will cross out. So when you're talking about changing inches to feet, we have 74 inches, and then there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So the 12 goes on the bottom. Because this way the inches will cross out, and you end up multiplying across the top and then multiplying across the bottom. So 74 times 1 is 74. And then 1 times 12 is 12. Well, 74 divided by 12 will give you 6.17 feet. Because the unit that's left is what you're transferring or converting to. Okay? So that's all you're going to do. You will use this system in chemistry in your science classes, so it's really a good thing to learn now, and that way when you get to those classes you'll be able to do it. Alright, let's try another one. 330 minutes is in how many hours? Alright, so we know, erase all this. How many minutes is in 1 hour? Well, everyone knows that's 60 minutes. So we want to convert 330 minutes into hours. So I'm going to make 330, and that's minutes. And you need to write your units on these. And that's over 1. Okay, I need to get minutes down here, diagonal, and I need to have hours there. Alright, so how many minutes is in an hour? There are 60 minutes in an hour. 1 hour. And then you multiply across the top. And that's going to be 330. Oops, let's change color so you can see that. 330 over 1 times 60 is 60, and then divide. Let's use the calculator. Okay. 330 divided by 60 gives me 5.5. So the answer for this one would be 5.5 hours. Okay? Now it says 168 hours is in how many days? All right, let me clean off all this again. I have room to work. All right, so it says hours into days. All right, hours into 1 day. How many hours is in a day? That's 24 hours. Okay, so we have 168 hours. And again, you need to write your units. And that's always going to be over 1. You want to have hours here, so you want to have hours here. All right, so we have 24 hours in a day. 1 day. All right, so when you multiply, your hours are going to cancel. You have 68 times 1, 168 times 1, excuse me, divided by 1 times 24, which is 24. So that's going to equal the number of days. So let's pull that up. 168 divided by 24, and that gives you 7 days. Okay? That'll be 7. All right, now let's clear off this mess. So we do the next one. All right, we have 6 feet 3 inches in total inches. That's how many total inches. All right, so remember we have feet is in inches. All right, 1 foot, 12 inches. Okay, so it says 6 feet 3 inches. All right, so we have 6 feet 3 inches. Right? Let's convert the feet. So that's 6 feet over 1. Feet to inches. Right? So each inches is 1 foot and 12 inches. Okay, my feet cancel. So that's 6 times 12, which is 72, over 1. And that is in inches. Okay, and then don't forget to add your 3. That would be a total of 75 inches. Okay, you don't have to convert the 3 we already had to begin with. This 3 inches, don't worry about it. You just need to convert the feet to inches and then add those 3 inches on to it to give you a total of 75. So those are the type conversions you're going to be doing. You'll do a lot of those in chemistry. So get really good at those. Make your chemistry teacher very happy. All right, proportions. We will use these a lot. Proportions are an equation that states 2 ratios are equal. 2 ways to solve the proportions. Multiplication property of equality or cross products property. Okay? Multiplication property just simply says that you're going to multiply both sides of the equation by something. Or cross products property is where you actually cross, multiply, and solve. Alright, so we can show the same problem both ways. On this one right here, we have 2 fractions. That's what proportions are. They're going to be 2 fractions set equal to each other. Okay? So on this one we have 3 divided by 4 is equal to x divided by 14. You notice that we have x divided by 14 over here. If we want to solve for x, that's division of 14, so we need to undo that by multiplying both sides by 14. When we do multiply both sides by 14, the 14's cancel over here and leave x. 14 times 3 is 42 divided by 4, and that simplifies to 21 divided by 2. Don't forget your calculator will do the simplification for you. Just hit math, enter, enter. Okay? Or you can simply cross multiply, which means you cross and diagonally multiply. So you can do 4 times x, and that's equal to 3 times 14, which is 42. Sorry, no pen is not, I'm not holding it right or something's wrong. Divide both sides by 4, and x would still be 21 divided by 2. So whichever way you want to do it, I recommend you cross multiply because we're going to get more complicated problems, and you will have to multiply quantities. So this is a really easy way to do it algebraically. Okay, so that's proportions. And then percents are really interesting. I like those because they're nice, easy word problems. Percents compare whole quantities represented by 100% and parts of that whole percent. Easy way to do these problems is to make it into an algebra problem. Okay? Remember, the word is means equals, of means multiply, and then use an x for the variable. Wherever you see a what, that will be what you would put in place of the what, you'll make a variable. All right, so this particular example says what percent, we don't know what is, give the variable, of means multiply, 90, is means equals, and then 27. And now you have a very simple algebra problem. Sorry. And then you just divide 27 divided by 90, and you get 0.3. Sorry. Since we're looking for a percent, whenever they ask you for a percent, this decimal right here is not the percent. You must move the decimal 2 places to the right. So this will go 1 and 2. Okay, well, I'm doing weird things today. So 30% is the percent. So if it asks you for a percent, you must move the decimal 2 places to the right. Otherwise, you just leave the answer as you find it. All right, so now we will be working with those in class and setting up algebra problems. Next, we're going to be working with simple interest formula, I equals PRT. This is not one that's on your SOL sheet. You must memorize this one. If they give you one of these kind of problems, you've got to know what the formula is. All right, so let's work on some of these. Get this out of the way. All right. I is going to be standing for the interest, P is the principal, R is the interest rate, and T is the time in years. Okay, so how much interest would you earn if you deposited $2,200 in a savings account that earns simple interest rate of 2.8% per year for 3 years? So you simply plug in the information that you have and you multiply. So if I plug in $2,200, okay, that is the principal times the rate, which was 2.8%, times the number of years. And that will give you 18,480. But you must move the decimal to the left because you multiply by a percent. So at the very end, you need to move it to the left 2 places. So your answer should be $184. Sorry, that's not right. $184.80. Okay, and that's how much interest you would earn. There's no way that you would earn $18,000 on $2,200. Okay, so just know that if it's a huge number, it doesn't make any sense. You didn't move your decimal. All right, so we'll be practicing those in class also. And that is going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, come see me in the morning.